Kenny Omega is back in All Elite Wrestling, and I, for one, am absolutely delighted. I'm really excited for the direction that AEW is going in right now, but did last night's episode of AEW Dynamite live up to the hype? Well, that's what we are going to talk about today. Welcome to Allison Analysis. I'm Ben Allison, and I've analysed last night's episode of AEW Dynamite, and here are my 5 key findings. In at number 5, I forgot how good Buddy Matthews was. When you have the roster size which AEW does have, it is literally impossible to showcase everyone, and that kind of has been their issue for the last few years, and unfortunately, Buddy Matthews has been somebody who's kind of fallen through the cracks. But I remember there was about a 6-month period in 2018 where Buddy Matthews, then known as Buddy Murphy, was one of the most talked about stars in the industry during his run at the top of 205 Live. I mean, this man was having banger after banger after banger. Then after his run at the top of the Cruiserweight division, he moved into Seth Rollins' faction over on Raw, and it started well. It did start well, but it went downhill quite quickly, and of course he ended up getting released. But last night, his match against Will Ospreay reminded me of his 2018 self, and it honestly was just a complete and utter banger. I loved it. Yes, there was maybe too few many kickouts at the end, but at this point, I think I've just got to acknowledge that's just Will Ospreay matches. He's so good, but the kickouts are just going to happen with it. But the match up until the ending was absolutely brilliant, and then even the right at the end, the finish, I thought was great as well. I just hope in 2025 we get to see more of Buddy Matthews in singles action, and after that promo which Will Ospreay cut on him last night, I am hopeful that we will see that. In at number 4, gold is near for the Hurt Syndicate. Private Party winning the AEW Tag Team Championships was undoubtedly a great moment and brought some eyes back to this tag team division and made it feel a bit exciting again. But the idea of the Hurt Syndicate winning the belts, well, that would be a huge deal. Lashley and Shelton Benjamin have been two of the most talked about AEW stars since they joined the company, and of course Shelton Benjamin had a great run in this year's C2, but apart from the Lashley versus Swerve match, they've not done too much yet, which is understandable. They've just been establishing them, but now is the time to make the next step. And the world title scene is so crowded right now, so I don't think we are going to see Lashley versus Moxley anytime soon. And the only other singles title where a babyface is champion is the TNT Championship. So I mean, maybe we could do Lashley versus Daniel Garcia, but at the same time, I do think they're going to give Garcia a little bit of a long reign, so I can't see that happening yet. Therefore, right this minute, I do prefer the idea of a Lashley and Shelton Benjamin tag team run, and them being tag team champions, well, it would certainly bring back some prestige to that tag team division. And if at any point AEW really do need Lashley back as a single star, it's easy. Just add a third member to this faction and then have them defend the belts under the free bird rule. It's as simple as that. And honestly, I'd love to see Shelton Benjamin hold some gold in AEW. In at number 3, the Casino Gauntlet match reminded me how stacked AEW's roster is. I mean, they had the likes of Hangman Page, Jay White, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Ricochet, Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta, and of course the winner, Powerhouse Hobbs, all fighting for a title opportunity, a world title opportunity, on just a random episode of AEW Dynamite. And that's not even mentioning the likes of MJF, Adam Copeland, Jeff Jarrett, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, who are all around the title picture as well. I think with the amount of injuries which AEW had last year, it is a little bit easy to forget how stacked that roster is. But honestly, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, it is one of, if not the most stacked rosters in the history of this business. And I said it a couple of weeks ago, but I do think it is true. The hype around AEW right now, the quality of the product, I genuinely think it's the best it's been since CM Punk left. In fact, since the CM Punk drama even started in 2022. And 2025 could and should be a great year for the promotion. They just need to plan out their long-term storylines, make sure everything makes sense and don't just do random stuff for the sake of it, like turning Chris Statlander every 5 minutes. But if they do give more time to the women's division, make Collision feel more important once again, and just keep storylines cohesive, I honestly think AEW could be back to its best in 2025. So if you haven't watched AEW before, well, now might be the time to get into it. But before we go any further, If you guys don't know, we do a live daily stream every single day at 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, and it's live on YouTube, it's live on Twitch, it's completely free, and all we ask is that you guys here at Wrestling Republic, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really, really does help a lot on this video as well. Just leave a comment and give me your thoughts on the show. I'd love to hear them. In at number 2, let's give Harley Cameron some praise. I've praised Pretty Deadly and Chelsea Green over in WWE for making the most of the small opportunities they have, but on the AEW side, that has really been Harley Cameron. Every single second of TV time she has, she makes the most of it. And every time she wrestles in the ring, she's improved. I mean, it is literally crazy to compare her matches in 2022 to her matches now. She looks like a completely different wrestler. She's improved so much. So I'm excited to see her face off against Mariah May this Saturday on AEW Collision. And was the promo to build it a little cringe? Of course it was, but it was meant to be, and it was memorable and quite funny because of it, so it worked. I'm glad she's getting more of the spotlight now, and I do think 2025 could be a great year for Harley Cameron, as more and more people are paying more and more attention to her. And in at number 1, Kenny Omega is back, and I have missed him. His return promo last night honestly got me a little bit emotional. I mean, between 2017 to 2021, this guy was one of my favorite wrestlers, in fact, probably my favorite wrestler on the planet. And him talking about how he didn't think he'd be able to wrestle again, and he was lucky to stay alive. I mean, it almost brought a tear to my eye. But he's back now, and the match he had against Gabe Kidd at the Tokyo Dome was an absolute banger of a bout. It proved he can still go, and it's gotten me even more excited for his AEW return. And now the Don Callis family are after him, it looks like not only will we get Brian Cage versus Kenny Omega next week, which I do think could be a bit of a banger because Brian Cage is yet another guy who's kind of been a little bit overlooked on the AEW roster. But the idea of Kenny Omega versus Kyle Fletcher, well, it's gotten me so excited. That would be a true match of the year contender. Plus, the idea of him teaming with Will Ospreay has got me excited as well. We know the history those two men have had. To see them team up, that could be a banger. Just overall, I'm really, really excited for Kenny Omega being back in AEW. His new theme is an absolute banger, and the future for not just Omega, but for AEW looks really bright right now. But yeah, overall, I didn't really have anything negative to say about last night's AEW Dynamite. It was just a fun show, and I'm happy about that. What did you guys think of the show? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will be replying to them. And I will see you guys next time on Saturday to talk a little bit of Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys in the next one. Peace!